But as I was saying, I remember growing up, going to school, right? And my mom used to give me a spiel. She was like, don't let nobody hit you. And I was like, man, that's not scriptural, but I understand now. Don't let nobody hit you. And don't fight. You're like, what? Don't let nobody hit you and don't fight. All right. Now, as a kid, sometimes you take that the wrong way. And the thing is, I'm tell you how parents work. You'll get in trouble and start something for fighting where they told you don't let anybody hit you, but you still get disciplined for it. You still get a spanking. I know what I told you. Because you got to train a child a little different from an adult. Because one thing about it, children don't know the gospel as good. So you got to train them a little differently as a child. But I remember back in the day, if you got in trouble for doing wrong at school, your parent came up there and beat you up with a belt or a switch or whatever they had by right in front of everybody. Because they knew their children. And they took the side of adults. You know what I'm saying? This day and age, a child act bad, they come in there, hey, why you, my shit, I know my kid. Wow, this is crazy. Look at the world we live in. Things have changed so drastically over the years that sound judgment has just dissipated. You think people don't know their children bad? You know why a lot of children are gonna stay bad? Because their parents don't chastise them. Spare the rod, you spoil the child. What you think that means? Now, most people are thinking about it, well, just spoil your children. He said, if you spare the rod, you will spoil them. No discipline. That's what he's saying. If you keep sparing the rod, but then guess what? Let me tell you something. You ain't gotta discipline. Because guess what? The world gonna eat them up and chew them out because you've been babying them. I was the last child, the baby. I was 27 years old. My mom was like, that's my baby, don't touch my baby. And the baby child always seemed to get perks. Get perks like cause you the baby. You got away with a little bit of murder. And I did as a young child, but I remember I went through a heartbreak when I was young and I decided to join the military. That was the first time I was away from home and I grew up. I got from under I think it was God led. I got from under my mother's bosom and my father's bosom and I stepped out on my own path. Glory be to God. And my mom sheltered me. I could go see movies. That's why I'm a movies fanatic now. I can play video games and do things for home. I can go see my one homeboy from around the corner just 100 feet away, 100 yards away or so. I could go to his house, but I couldn't do too much because my mom learned a lot from raising 7 of us. So when it got to me, I feel like Joseph sometimes. I'm like, you know how Joseph, the young kid, you understand? And the older kids always hate the younger for some reason because the younger is spoiled. You see, he had a coat of many colors. I had perks of many things, you know, as being the youngest. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make it I was evil, but I understand why my parents changed how they raised us over time. Like they learned from the first child, then the second child, and the third child, and they keep changing it. But this day and age, it's like it's not like that. They're not learning nothing. And it's because of lack of God, lack of trust in him. We want to raise our kids how we want to raise them, not according to how the Bible says. Or we got mad because our parents were strict and using godly principles, and we like, I'm not going to do that to my kids. Now your kid's bad as hell. People, that's the world we live in. Let me pause for a second. I'll be right back, people.